I've got a lot of important things to say.
How do you write funny stuff?
Comedy is arguably the hardest art form.
Do you practice like a comedy like at your house?
I'm not saying that I'm consistent at it.
What would you say to people they're like funny, like, you know, or they try to be a comedian or whatever?
Don't sign up. Be afraid to fail. Kevin Hart still bombs. Dave Chappelle still bombs. I don't need no more competition in here, man. Just kidding.
I mean, honestly, that's like something I struggle with.
I have failed so much in my life.
Give me advice of like that big balls you have, you know?
I'm gonna write that one down.
All right, welcome back to the Be Frank podcast, episode 03. Should I say episode 3? 03? 03?
I think episode 3, whatever.
All right, so welcome back to Be Frank podcast, episode 3. We have JJ Wood. He's a stand-up comedian. We know each other for a long time now, and then welcome back. Welcome to the show.
Dude, thank you for having me, man. I love everything you've got going on here. This is fantastic.
Oh, thank you. It's just like, you know, like we got a, you know, sound system is not here, but, you know, we got to start somewhere, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so can you tell me what do you do? And like, so like I kind of want to ask this question, like when you meet someone at the bar, like a stranger, they ask you like, what do you do, JJ's? What do you say?
I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yeah? That's just straight up say? What do they ask you?
A lot of times when people say like, or when they ask like, are you you're a stand-up comedian? Like, tell me a joke.
Right.
I'm like, no, it's not how it works. Or they'll be like, oh, I have a joke for you. You can use it if you want. It's just like, no.
Is there a funny one?
Yeah.
They say?
No one's ever really told me like a funny joke that I've been like, yeah, I'm totally going to use that on stage. Like,
got you. So how long you been doing the comedy?
About 4 years.
4 years. So like you were doing like a music before, right? Like a reggae band and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was playing reggae music in Oklahoma.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, like
It went well.
you were doing good though, but like it's just like you switched to comedy, right? Like what made you do that?
A lot of it was I was playing a lot of these shows to where like you had to play cover songs, and as much as I love playing music and other people's songs here and there, like I have to do something original, and I just wasn't feeling it anymore.
Right.
And I had been dabbling with comedy, and then everything just started working out with me more for comedy, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to put music on the back burner and just focus on this.
Like why you always like wanted to do comedy, or like was there like what made you like, okay, like music, right? Like maybe like people go like acting or like whatever, like a music or like a producer type of things or whatever, right? Then like a comedy, like I know you're a funny guy, but like you know, just like what made you become a comedian?
So I have a theater background, like a musical theater background and stuff, but especially when I was a kid, you know, when you're watching, just like back when you were a kid, right?
Right.
And you're trying to watch porn or something like that. The only like porn back in like, you know, 2000 and all that stuff was you watch Comedy Central and then wait for the Girls Gone Wild infomercials to go on, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd fall asleep with the TV on, and I'd wake up to a stand-up comedy special going on. So it was always kind of like stuck in the back of my head. And then I moved to New York City for a little bit, and I was working with at restaurants with a bunch of other comedians, like aspiring comedians, and they're always telling me like, bro, you're so funny, like that was so hilarious and stuff. So I started writing jokes and stuff on the train, but then I moved back to Oklahoma, met people like Lenny Van Horn and Zach Ishikawa and Justin Keithley and stuff, and they're like, dude, you should try it. And so I went up and I did an open mic one night at JJ's Alley, and from there, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I dabbled between there and Tapworks for a couple of years, just going on off and on. But once I went to the Looney Bin and I did an open mic there, I was just like, yo, this is it. Like, this is what I really need to be doing.
What was it like to be like, you know, like first time you doing the comedy, like, you know, even like me doing like this podcast or whatever, or like even talking to camera for the first time, I had like super fear, and then like a lot of people say public speaking is like a number one fear for the human or people, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any fear?
I did not, man. No, I've always felt comfortable on stage.
You're just natural.
I love it. It's like the more people out there, like the better I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, let's roll. Like, let's get this going. And I think like the first time I ever did an open mic, having a theater background and a music background, I already knew like how to hold the microphone. I already had a stage presence. I was comfortable on stage. And I think for a lot of comedians that are starting off, that is like their number one thing that they're trying to like get over. That's their number one like fear. Like,
right.
Okay, let's just get up on the stage first.
Yeah, for sure.
And I already had that, so a lot of the comedians are like, man, fuck this guy. He's got to work on his jokes, but damn, does he look good on stage.
Yeah, and then like I saw a YouTube video last night. Like you're on the stage, you look comfortable, and then like you're talking about your bartender therapy and all that kind of stuff. I thought, and then like that's how we met, the JJ's, and then
yeah.
I was bartending, I was a barback or whatever, and then you come in, and then you start working there, and then I kind of like I don't know if we ever worked together.
No, I don't think we ever worked together, but everyone always talked highly of you and stuff. They're like, yeah, Yosuke, he's so dope. I was like, word.
Yeah, but so like so I was curious. So open mic for like a musician, I saw it all the time. Like they just go up to like some host or whatever, that they write the name down, and then they go to the stage, right? Is that same as the comedy too? Or?
Yeah, for the most part, I think so. For instance, Bricktown Comedy Club, like you got to sign up a month in advance online. Then they email the list out. But for the most part, like, yeah, that's just go and sign up on a sheet of paper and stuff and go up and do your time.
Damn. Yeah. So like, what's that look like? Do you guys do like a 7 minutes or something like that? Or like, is there like how's that
Each open mic has a different time slot. Like JJ's Alley open mic, it's 5 minutes. The comedy club is 4 minutes. And there's some other open mics that you can do up to 7 to 10.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? If you have it.
Yeah. Is that like, so yeah, I guess like it's really hard to like have like 4 minutes and 7 minutes. Is that different, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it's, I don't know, man. It's if you don't have it, I think a lot of people, they'll get up on stage and they just like talk really fast, or they'll just like rush it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I think the thing with open mics is that's where you learn, that's where you practice and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like you just got to learn how to like space that out a little bit.
Do you practice like a comedy like at your house and like music, right? Like I assume like people practice guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the process of like comedy practice, I guess?
So for me, like I wake up every morning and I write, do all that stuff, but the practicing part is going to an open mic.
Really?
Like you practice live, like you have to have an audience. Like I can sit there and tell you a joke and be like, hey, what do you think of this joke? And you're like, oh my God, that's so hilarious. But then I go and I do it at an open mic or at a comedy club and it doesn't go well, and be like, man, Yosuke, like you lied to me, bro. I thought that joke was funny. Like
right.
You never know. Like so
right.
You like the way that I do it is I record every single one of my sets that I do, whether I film it on my phone or just do like a little voice memo.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go back home afterwards and you study that tape. It's like a game tape, for like basketball players and stuff, like, or football players as well. Go back and study the tape. Like, cool. Like, all right, maybe I should say this instead of this, or maybe I should space this out a little bit more.
Like a timing.
It's all about timing and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how I practice.
And then those like people who are around you, like I guess like when you go to open mic, it's kind of like a kind of camaraderie during like among all the comedians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they like kind of talk to each other like you should do that or whatever? Like is that kind of happening?
The good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good ones do it. Like, for instance, I did a show this last Sunday, and one of the guys that I opened for is from Austin, and he told me after the show, he's like, yo man, he's like, this joke was really funny, but you should add this tagline into that. Like, you should say this as well in there. Huh. So it's real cool. And like, you know, a lot of comedians, like, they do want to help each other. There's a lot of like writing groups. People like go meet up and then just like work on each other's jokes and stuff like that and help each other out, which is really cool. So like, yeah, like a lot of comedians will help each other and stuff. Like, as I said, like the good ones that want to help people succeed, you know, because comedy can be like very competitive. You know what I mean?
Is that like cutthroat business or like?
It can be.
It can be.
Like if you do an open mic and it's in front of just a bunch of comedians,
right?
You're gonna see most of them just like,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that. Like, oh, look what that joke is so tacky. You're like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, like, cause like whenever I was bartending at the like JJ's, and then like do that open mic comedy or whatever, and then like a lot of the audience was a comedian, like people who are waiting to go next, and it's like. I thought that was funny, but nobody's laughing, and I'm like, damn, this is kind of harsh, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I've done, like, that's the thing I love about the JJ's Alley open mic is, like, I've done a set at the comedy club, and it just did really well there. And I'm like, cool. Well, then the next night, I go and I do the same exact set over at JJ's Alley, and I get crickets, and it's a very humbling experience. Right. You know, every time you're like, "Ooh." So like the thing with like JJ's Alley open mic and a lot of other open mics at dive bars and stuff like that. The thing of it, as like when baseball players before they go up to bat, like they're putting that weight on the top of their bat, so by the time like they get up to the plate, like they're ready to go.
Yeah,
that's essentially what the open mics at dive bars are.
Yeah.
If you can get that crowd to laugh,
right?
You know, like the crowd that's not there for comedy, like they're on like Tinder dates and stuff like that. Right. You know what I mean? Like if you can like separate, like if you can make them laugh,
right?
Buddy, take that to the comedy club and see how it does there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I was listening to Kevin Hart's like a podcast too. Like I guess he does the kind of same thing. Is like he goes to like a very very small like places, do the joke. See what's happening, what's not working, and then he takes it to like a medium size, and I guess he does it for like 2 years, and then come up the big one for like an hour or whatever.
Yep.
Is that like a to do those kind of like a big show is like your like a dream, like that's your what
100%.
you're going for?
Yeah.
So like who is your favorite comedian? I know this is kind of weird.
Favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like Dave Chappelle has always been one of my favorites because he's just such a smart man. He's so intellectual. If you listen to any of his interviews, he's hilarious and very insightful on a lot of things in life. George Carlin, Ralphie May, Richard Pryor, John Mulaney.
John Mulaney.
Yeah, I love John Mulaney, dude. He's so funny. Yeah, a lot of them. Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, like Andrew Schultz is really good.
So whenever you went to New York, did you see those people? Or
no, you know what? When I lived in New York, I did not do comedy there.
Oh, no.
No, I was still stuck on being like, I'm going to be a reggae musician. Idiot.
Are you eventually go to New York in different state or?
I do. I am trying to make it out to New York in the next year and just stay up there for a few days and then just hit up the mic scene. And, you know, I know a few people up there that can kind of guide me around and just figure stuff out and network and stuff. A lot of comedy is networking.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's just meeting people and just being cool.
Yeah.
Like just be a fun hang, you know what I mean? Like if you suck as a person, like people are gonna be like, yeah, he's funny, but man, that guy sucks to hang out with, you know? Like,
I mean, it's like any business, right?
Right.
Like if you can't work together, it's kind of hard to go to a different level. Can you tell me about like what you're telling me? Like you have a show like Friday or something? You're meeting somebody this Friday or like the Bricktown Comedy Club? Didn't you say like you made it to you can do comedy?
Oh no. So like with every comedy club, you get passed by them. You know what I mean? Like you go to those open mics. and you do it enough to the point to where the club will be like, okay, cool, we're gonna start putting him on some shows. Like that's kind of where I'm at now.
Nice.
Where I've been passed and now I can be put on shows, like because I've done so many of their showcases within the last couple of years, and but now it's like, all right, cool, like you can start opening for people now.
That's awesome.
So
Like,
it's
I mean, like,
been really cool.
it's been like you've been doing that for a long time. Like 4
Yeah.
years is long time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's just that how that comedy works. Like just take time, and then like I was thinking about like all the like, you know, like Tom Segura and all the people. They're kind of like, you know, like more older. You know what I mean? So like I guess comedy must take time to be like make it on like on TV.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
stuff.
Comedy is arguably the hardest art form.
Why did you say that?
Because, for instance, when I was a musician, I could go up on stage and I could like crack a little joke that doesn't go well, and I'm like, okay, well anyway, here's Wagon Wheel. And you start playing that, and everyone's like, cool, you got the crowd back, you know?
Right.
With comedy, you're walking up on stage with a microphone and your thoughts. You know what I mean? So like, everyone is sitting there staring at you. They're ready to laugh. They want you to say something funny.
Right.
And you got to make that funny.
Right.
And if it's not funny, well, that sucks. Then you're like, okay, this is great.
Was that happen like sometimes?
Bro, everyone bombs. That's the one thing that I tell like younger comedians that are trying to get into it. I'm like, don't worry about going up there and bombing. Like, everyone is going to bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone still bombs. Kevin Hart still bombs.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle still bombs. All these guys, like, they go to these comedy clubs to work out the material, as you were saying. Like, they go to those small places first.
Right.
Like, everyone still bombs. Don't worry about that. That's just a part of the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the gamble of,
Right.
like, walking up on stage, like, all right, this is either going to go well or it just might suck. You know? For instance, like, you know, one of my friends, she went to a comedy club and saw this one girl, and she's on Netflix and all that stuff, and she's like, man, I watched her set and she was just awful. Like, she didn't even know any of her jokes and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, because she's working them out. When you get to that level of being like that caliber of a comedian, you don't have to do open mics anymore.
Right.
People are paying you to go and work out your material in front of them. You know what I mean? I was like, just give it time.
Right.
And then like 6 months later, her stand-up special came out, and then the girl hit me back up. She goes, yeah, you were right. Like, those jokes are way more polished than that special. I'm like, that's what they're trying to do, you know?
Damn.
So
Just anything else, like 1% every day
Yeah.
to get better at anything. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's impressive you write like every morning. Is that like you, like what's the process? Like you tell your joke to your friends, oh that's funny, and then you go back to your house and wake up in the morning, you write that material, or like what is the, I'm so fascinated about like how do you write funny stuff? You know what I mean?
There's lots of different ways that you can do it. Like, you know, I'm a part-time bartender as well, so sometimes I'm just like fucking around with the guests and stuff like that, and I say something and I'm just like got the whole bar laughing. I'm like, well, I'm gonna write that one down. You know, or
Yeah.
if I'm hanging out with my friends and it's the same thing, like I crack a joke or something like that,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Another exercise that I like to do is I get up on Twitter every morning and I see what's trending, and then just see like if I can make a joke about something like current event wise.
Gotcha.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because it's the same with, it's kind of like the same thing with music. If you're writing a song, there's this really good documentary on YouTube by Ed Sheeran called Songwriter. And Ed Sheeran's just like, it's him recording like one of his albums. And his process, man, he like would wake up super early in the morning, like make a cup of coffee, and he'd go outside and just sit there and just write a little song in like 30 minutes. He's never going to use that, you know what I mean? But he's like, cool, got that out the way.
Huh.
Now I can, because not every song is going to be a banger.
Right.
Not every joke is going to work either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just trial. And
That is awesome, man. Like, I mean, honestly, that's like something I struggle with, honestly. Like, you know, I try to like put out like even like making videos or something like that. It has to be like the best one, and then like I can't put it out there if it's not the best.
Right.
And then like I just don't know, like what do you like? Can you like give me advice of like that big balls you have? You know what I mean? Like when you like to have like just like, you know, if you bomb it or whatever, and then like just like don't care. You know what I mean? I think that's what I need, but like I don't know how you process it. Or like you said, like you can get on the stage, no problem.
Right.
Maybe just natural. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
You just gotta you can't be afraid to fail.
Right.
Because what happens when you fail?
I mean, you learn.
You learn, you get right back up, and you don't make that mistake again.
Right.
I have failed so much in my life, like with music-wise, with comedy-wise, and I've gotten back up, learned from that mistake, and then just gotten better. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Just keep going, man. Like, just keep pushing it out.
Right.
Because consistency is key. Because a lot of people, they'll fail and be like, well, I'm giving up. This isn't for me. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to do something, you're going to do it. You know, look at like Michael Jordan had that quote about like how many shots he missed.
Right.
How many game winners he didn't make.
Yeah.
6 championships, though, dude. He's still the GOAT.
Yeah, he's a goat. Yeah, and then like honestly, like I've been seeing your social media, and then like I remember when you start doing comedy and stuff, like you're like social, like posting stuff. Like I saw you're like I think that was like during COVID time, and then you were like in the like a bathtub, like crying or something. I don't know if you remember that.
I cry a lot. I cry a lot in the bathtub, man. Yeah, damn, I didn't think people were gonna know that. Thanks, Yosuke.
That video I was watching, and then I was like, man, he's really doing the comedy things, and then like. And I kept seeing that you doing that stuff, and then like a lot of people talk about you, and then like
are they saying good things?
Yeah, of course. Okay. And then
good.
Like Breakdown Comedy Club, and then like all that stuff, and Jay's is doing good and all that kind of stuff. Man, like it's like inspiring to me. Like you changed the career, like not career, like just kind of changed the way you're doing things in the music to comedy and all that kind of stuff. And then that's kind of part of it. Like a lot of people show me like you, like that kind of inspired me to do like these kind of podcasts or like starting YouTube or something like that, because like, man, they're doing it. And like, I bet like comedy stuff, it's like, you know, people will probably judge you, right? Like doing comedies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then like I'm doing this stuff, and always I think that some people judge me doing this, and Yosuke is trying to do this podcast or whatever. But like you're making it, and then like that's such an inspiring thing to me. And then I think you're doing the cool
You're
things.
gonna make me blush, man.
Yeah. So I literally thought that was a cool thing. That's why, you know. Whenever I start doing podcasts, you know, like, man, I gotta have Jason, you know, get in the podcast.
Oh, man, thank you, dude. That means a lot, dude. I mean that sincerely. That's awesome, man. No, it's real cool to be able to do what I love. I've always loved making people laugh. I've always loved being able to take people away from their problems in life for just a few minutes, if that, or maybe make fun of a problem that they also share and make them feel like, you know what, it's actually not that bad. Right? Yeah, fuck that bitch. Yeah, she broke my heart. Fuck her. He's right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start a new chapter in my life today thanks to that comedian.
Yeah. I mean, if you're laughing, that's better life, right?
You gotta laugh it off, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the thing with me is sometimes, and it's gotten me in trouble before, but like I laugh at things that I probably shouldn't laugh at. Like it's kind of like my coping mechanism. If something tragic happens to me, like I just write a joke about it. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I do things. Like how it makes me feel a little bit better about things. You know?
I mean, like honestly. Yesterday, I'm currently doing like a 30 days hill sprint challenge. Like just going to Arcadia Lake and then running a hill sprint like for 10 times minimum for 30 days straight. And then the yesterday was hardest because the day before, me and my buddy did a 5,000 calorie challenge, a 10,000 calorie challenge, 5,000 burn, 5,000 calories eat. And then I finished that, and the next day I'm like, man, I gotta go to do this because I say I'm gonna do it, you know.
Right,
so
right.
I was like, and then I was filming myself for like YouTube video and say, hey, I'm here at Arcadia. This is day 13. Man, I'm so tired, blah blah blah. And I just kept saying it, like I'm tired. I'm gonna be like a little bitch. I'm gonna quit and all that stuff. And then I was like, damn, this is kind of funny. Like this is like I'm just bitching. Like this moment is kind of funny. Like and nobody cares. And then I just did it, you know.
Right.
So like I just like made it myself, made fun of myself, and they just kind of helped me to like, oh, this is not even that bad.
Right. Once you get into it, man, that's the same thing with me. Like, you know, when I wake up and I've got a certain like daily routine or morning routine that I get into. And some days I'm like, I don't really feel like working out today. Like, I'm just tired. Like, oh man, like that edible is still kind of hitting me from last night. Like, ugh, you know, like,
Right.
but you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just wake up and do it. And then once you do that, like once I get done working out, I'm like, all right, let's tackle the day now. And I feel a lot better about myself. It's just that getting over that hump of like, oh, I don't want to do it. That's resistance.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's this book. I can't remember who the author is at the top of my head, but it's called The War of Art. Have you ever read that book?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's a really good book. And Stephen Pressfield. That's who it is. Yeah, Stephen Pressfield. And he obviously he's a writer, but like his whole thing is like, if you want to do anything, if you want to be a comedian, you want to be a videographer or a movie star or whatever, he's like, there's this thing called resistance that's going to stop you. It's that thing in the back of your head that's just like, no, you're not going to be good. You got to beat that, and you got to beat that every day. Just wake up and just do the work.
Do the work.
That's it.
Yeah.
You continue to do that. You stay consistent, and it just like works out for you at the end. Like, you know the story about the bamboo tree, right?
Yeah.
You know, you plant the seed, and you got to water that for like 5 years before it even like breaks the surface.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like you just got to keep watering it every day. And then once it like breaks the surface, then it takes like 60 days or something like that for it to grow 90 feet.
Huh.
It's a wild thing that
That's
I don't
like
know.
an overnight success.
Yeah, to an extent, but you've got to put in that work.
Right.
Like you see any comedian, you see any basketball player, like you see any like just like UFC fighter, or so on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you see their success that they have, and yeah, they might be an overnight success to you.
Right.
To them, that's like 12 years of work that they were putting
Yeah.
in. You know what I mean?
I mean, who knows? They just started doing like, you know, those like drills like 4 years old, you know?
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of work that you got to put in, but the more that you just continue to do it,
Yeah.
eventually it's all going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about consistency. And then like, it's just that time, like sometimes a lot of society right now, it's like, I don't know, but like, it's like people say like, take it easy, you know? But a lot of people is like, don't work too hard, you know? I'm like, that's for you.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
going to go do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant was definitely one of my biggest like idols, in like with his work ethic.
Yeah.
You know
For
what I
sure,
mean?
yeah.
I watched that the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix when they were doing like the Olympics, and just the fact that like there's that story of like all of them were like leaving the club or whatever, and it's like 4 a.m. They get back to the hotel, and Kobe's already drenched in sweat, and he's like going back to the gym, and they're like, huh? He's like, yeah, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
We're here to win, bro.
Right.
Like, do you want to win or you want to go out and party? Like,
Right.
for me, I mean, I don't really like go out that much anymore. I don't really like, I hardly drink that much. You know what I mean? Like I like drinking as like a form of like celebration. What do I have to celebrate right now?
Right.
I'd rather go home after a show or an open mic sometimes and just, all right, cool, let's watch the tape. How can I make this better?
That is awesome, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm consistent at it. It's something that I'm consistently trying to be consistent at.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to put the work in, man. Nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
Nothing comes easy.
What would you say to people who are like watching this or listening to this, like they're like funny, like, you know, or they try to be a comedian or whatever? What would you say? What advice do you have?
Just do it.
What they where they
or
can,
don't. I don't know. I don't need no more competition there, man. Just kidding.
where can they start?
Man, I would say to anyone that ever asks me, I say go to an open mic first. Don't sign up. Just go there and watch.
Yeah.
Watch, because like at an open mic, you're gonna see people that are just starting off,
Right.
and you're gonna see people that are actually doing well.
Right.
And sometimes you see those people starting off, and you feel a little bit better about yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, cool, and just go up and just try it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like some advice that I give to some like the newer comics that are coming around is write clean. Like don't try and push for the edgy shit. Like you're not there yet. You're not Dave Chappelle. You're not Ricky Gervais. You're not Jimmy Carr. You know, you can't go out and just say outlandish shit. You're not there yet.
Right.
Work clean first, and then you can start getting into that field of
Like a work clean is kind of like a basic.
like you're not gonna go up on Jimmy Kimmel Live and talk about like eating ass. Right. Like, you're not there yet, you know. Not saying that I don't have eating ass jokes. I do have those as well, but I know when to do them. Like, and just keep grinding, man.
Well, I do like, you know, like this is like I'm asking every guest that, you know, it's like cliches for a reason, but, you know, it's like a lot of people talk about life in 5 years, right? But like, what advice give yourself 5 years ago you?
Like in the past?
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 33.
33, so like 28 years old you. Like what advice give yourself?
Like what would I tell myself at 28 years old?
Yeah.
Quit doing drugs. Damn it. I think I would just tell myself, just put in the work. Like, block out all the outside noise. Just don't party as much. And then just put in the work. That's it.
Good.
There's just, it's one of those things that I don't like to think about the past as much. Like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. But like, because everything kind of happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Is something that I firmly believe. And
Yeah.
I'm where I need to be right now.
Right.
You know?
The reason I asked this question is that, you know, that's a kind of part of the reason that I'm doing this YouTube and podcast is that I do want to give value to the people who are watching or people who are listening to the podcast or whatever the content I put it out on public on the YouTube. Is that 5 years ago I was kind of in a dark place, and then I watched YouTube, I consumed the content, and then that inspired me to be, you know, went through a lot of stuff. So what I'm trying to do now is that what I've learned this last 5 years, then if I can give advice or if I can give inspiration to 5 years ago me, then somebody will probably need that advice. Right. You know, that's the kind of reason I wanted to ask this question to people, and they also that's the kind of reason I'm starting this kind of stuff.
Do you feel like that you learned a lot from that dark place? Do you feel like you came out a stronger person?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I think, you know, like I noticed that it just, the biggest thing is I don't have to figure it out too much. And then also that, you know, like a mistake, but also that, you know, I found in dark place as a happiness. It's kind of like if I go through hard things, I'm making a progress, and then I'm just doing things what I say I would do, then making my character to grow. So during doing those tough things or out of my comfort zone. I mean, like who knew, like, you know, I would had a podcast, you know what I mean?
Right.
5 years ago, I would have never thought about that.
Right.
But now I'm doing a kind of little bit uncomfortable situation. Then I love it. Like I love this progress happening, like myself and around me, and then everybody around me is getting better, and then it's just community to be better world. And like, you know, to answer your question, yes, I did learn a lot of stuff. And if I didn't have that dark place, I mean, life would have been maybe easier, but probably not happier.
Right.
So it's kind of weird way to put it.
You don't know how good that warmth is until you know what it's felt like to be super cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like you need that.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, yeah, I've been through so much shit in my life that I'm happy that it happened.
Yeah.
In a weird way, like no matter like how much it like I felt like it broke me.
Yeah.
It didn't kill me.
Right.
And I rose out of that.
Yeah.
And it just made me like feel better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a good thing to like, you know, tell like anyone who's listening and stuff like that. Like it gets better. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I've never felt this way before. This is the lowest I've ever been. Well, guess what? You can't get any lower.
Yeah.
Okay? Like just keep going.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Keep pushing it.
Well, so I don't know, like if you don't like talk about past, but what do you see yourself in 5 years? Like what's your goal? What's your dream? Like how do you see?
I want to be a national headliner in 5 years. I want to be headlining comedy clubs and festivals and stuff like that within the next 5 years. Because right now, you know, comedy is a full-time job for me, but I bartend part-time to pay my bills. Like, I mean, dude, I work 2 days a week. Like, I bartend 2 days a week. You know what I mean? And
that's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, like life isn't really that bad, you know. Like, but there's a lot of work that I put in throughout the week to make my career a little bit more successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just trying to constantly build and have my hands in a few different pots here and there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I mean, you see, like, look at what like Kevin Hart does. Like, that dude, his work ethic,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
His work ethic
He's
is
everywhere.
insane.
Yeah.
That dude he's an inspiration. Like, say what you want about his comedy, you know what I mean? Like, he might not be the funniest person, but like, there's no one that's outworking him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think going back to that old question, like, what would I tell myself in 5 years ago? Don't let him outwork you. Because that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you might be funnier than me, but like, you're not going to outwork me.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I'm at. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So,
is there like any question for me?
Are you still doing the UFC thing?
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm still training, and then like fitness is kind of big things for me now. Big part of my life, and then I was talking about 5 years ago, dark place or whatever. The big things was fitness, and then I don't know if you remember, but I was like kind of overweight, like 185 or whatever. And then whenever I fought last year, I was 145. Now I'm like 160, like walking around. But I'm probably, I don't like say this stuff, then I don't do it. But I am going to have another cage fight in 2023 for sure.
Nice.
I've been doing the jiu-jitsu quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to a different jiu-jitsu gym, and then I love it, man. Like, I don't know if you like working out, if you like fighting stuff, but I recommend it to everybody who are very like hardworking and intelligent. People will love jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu is kind of like, I'm a white belt and I don't know what I'm talking about probably.
Right.
All the black belt will probably like roll the eyes or whatever. But anyways, it's just kind of like a pure art and also like a very intelligent sports.
Right.
It doesn't, you can be strong. That could be a part of the things, but it's a physical chess match because you have a move, but also like it's a very basic move can like have another advanced move. So you do offense, I have a defense. That defense you have another offense move. That offense move I can do another defense, but that defense can turn into the offense. So it's just never ending chess match.
Right.
And then if you like don't know another move and then you get caught and you like fucked and then you get choked out or like you get like arm broken, whatever. You know what I mean? But you're not gonna get that. But like it's just such a good feeling for me. And then also like I'm getting older. Jiu-jitsu, I can do it forever. Like I see like 60 years old people who's like beat my ass all day.
Yeah.
And then like they're training hard and then they're smarter. And then like they have experience and then they can do it for a long time. And then I've been waiting for something like I think it's gonna take me 10 years, 15 years to get black belt or like get talk about in like public and podcasts and jiu-jitsu and stuff. But I'm very enjoying that process of like grinding. I'm grinding on
That's
jiu-jitsu.
Awesome. My older brother, like he did cage fighting for a little bit, and I wanted to go watch him.
Yeah.
But then my brother-in-law went to his first match and goes, "Bro, you're not gonna like it." And I was like, "Why?" It's because he's like, "You're gonna be in the crowd, and you're gonna be like, yeah, like go Tommy, like do it up." And there's gonna be someone behind you that's cheering against him, like, "Fuck that guy." And I'm like, "What? What did you say?" That's my brother, dude. And I was like, "Oh, that's fair." But do you also feel that like with fighting and stuff? Like in the cage, like is it also like a mental thing? Like, do you play mind games with people a little bit?
It's totally mental.
Like Muhammad Ali was kind of like he would like get inside their heads.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
no, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? But like, it's kind of honestly, whenever I fought my opponent and stuff, like it was just me against me. Like opponent was there, but it was weird because like I never felt that calm. And then I was even trying to shake his hand in the middle of the the ring.
Yeah.
And like I kind of tapped his like a hand like weirdly, and then I remember his like eyes was like twitching. Like while I was just looking at like a weigh-in, I'm like, man, this guy's nervous. And I'm just like looking through it, and then, man, he wasn't nervous. I fought him, and then like I lost the decision, but honestly, I still talk to him till today.
Yeah.
Like he messaged me on Facebook and then he's like, "Hey, good luck with this like marathon training or whatever I was doing." And then
That's
he's
nice.
he's fighting and I say good luck, and then he's like an LFA champ now.
Yeah.
So I hope he never loses and then he become UFC champ. And I said, well, I almost won. I never thought, whatever. So I hope that that happens. And mental, but fighting is mental. I mean, going through those training, going through whatever, I think it's just mind over power.
I see what you're saying. Like, it's awesome that you get to still like talk to that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you guys are cool. Like,
Yeah.
So like a couple of years ago, I was in a roast battle at the comedy club, and roast battles like you just like making fun of each other. Like,
Oh,
you know what I
gotcha,
mean?
yeah.
Like you're being like really, really mean. So this guy that I was roasting, we had like kind of crossed paths. He's from Dallas, and we've crossed paths a couple times. Like, hey, how's it going? Just little stuff like that. But I never really got to sit down and talk to him. Then I found out that we were roasting each other, and I got in this mind state. I'm like, fuck this dude. Like, I'm literally gonna be so mean to this guy. Like, I want him to go cry in his car. That was like my mentality that I had when I was writing these jokes.
Right.
And then I show up to the show, and I go to the green room, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk to this guy. And I was like, this guy's the coolest fucking dude. I was like, I love this guy. And, he beat me because he has way more experience than me in this field. But he's someone that I still talk to this day that, like, I ask him advice about, like, what should I do with this? Or, I feel like I just had a bad show tonight. Like, he's always kind of been very, very, like, kind of supportive and just been like, he knows, like, kind of what to say.
Got you.
And I've got a few people like that in comedy, not just in OKC, but like all around and stuff that,
Right.
I asked him, like, man, I was like, I feel like I had a bad set. You know what I mean? They're like, don't worry about it. Like, it just happens. Like, keep going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I was like, oh, I didn't get booked on this show. I was like, it sucks. And they're like, dude, neither do we. Like, you know? Like, little things like that. Like, you kind of need those mentors.
Yeah. For
in
sure.
life, you know what I mean? So that's kind of cool, man. I'm glad you still talk to that guy. Like,
yeah, and then like honestly, like it's like every relationship, I believe, like you have to, like it's like even life. We're talking about that, like you have to have a bad time to know like a good times. You know, I feel like every relationship, like the friends I have for a long time, we almost like kill each other. You know, like fought. You know, and then but like we've kind of bonded. You know. So I don't know, maybe I'm kind of weird, like I need to have that stuff to have like a strong bond with other people. It's like a surface level stuff I can have with other people, but a stronger bond like probably takes some sort of, you know, hard battle, you know. Like
it's one of those things that you're that if you guys have like almost fought several times, like, you know, like, hey, like this guy's real. You know what I mean? Like, you're like he's gonna be the homie, but like if shit goes south, we're gonna throw hands at a certain point. You know, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know. For me, it's like, you know, anyone that I've ever fought, I've been like, I don't talk to them anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe you should reach it out. Be a bigger man. You know.
Well, no, I'm good.
Well, so where can people can find your stuff? And like, do you have like a plug or?
Yeah, man. So as of right now, JJ Wood Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, not Snapchat. That's from my hoe shit. But YouTube as well. I'm working right now on a lot of things. A lot of them I can't really talk about at the moment, you know. But one of them that I can say is I'm going to have jjwoodcomedy.com put up here pretty soon. That's something that I'm currently working on and in the process of building. So as of right now, just follow me on Instagram at jjwoodcomedy. Come to any of the shows because I put on, I produce 3 shows a month right now, which is Zuma Bar over here on West. Well, I don't. Do you want people to know where this is? It's right here. Zuma Bar.
I've never been there.
It is so awesome, man. They're really cool. Tyler, Adam, Chelsea are fantastic individuals who have, over the last year, have continued to let me put on comedy shows there, and I'm super, super thankful for them. They've been really, really awesome and supportive. So we got Zuma every third Sunday of the month. Every third Tuesday, I've got the Speak Easy Laugh Hard comedy show that I put on at the Joinery in Bricktown, downstairs in their Speakeasy. And then every third Friday, I have the Drafts and Laughs showcase that I put on at Skydance Brewery. Over there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've got that, and just whatever else I get put on, man, I get booked on other shows throughout the months and stuff. So I would love to see some more people out and supporting live comedy, you know.
Sounds good. And then how can people support you? Like, just go to the show? Or?
Just go to a show, laugh, have a good time, give me a follow, share some of my videos and stuff like that. And then once I get this website up, buy merchandise. That's one thing I'm doing. Speaking of merchandise and stuff, one more plug I want to put in is a Regular Ass Day. This is a company that I'm sponsored by. One of my really, really good friends, DJ Man Hole Up. This is his company. He's got a clothing line and a label. You could
destroy something beautiful.
It says, watch what you say, you could destroy something beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Which is a good. This hoodie drops on Monday, October 31st. Go to regularassday.com. There's a bunch of, he's got so many dope shirts and stuff that you can support. And then there you can also find like the Fuck Regular Entertainment portion that he has on there, and a bunch of the other artists and stuff that he has on the label. So support that.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming in, and
Dude,
then
thanks
thanks
for having me.
Thank you. And then Well, people, please like and comment, and I'm gonna put everything what JJ said and a link in the description. And then thank you for listening and thanks for watching. And always be frank. Bye. Peace.
Thanks, JJ.
Dude, thanks.